On July 15, 2008, a woman in Mesa, Arizona found her ex-boyfriend dead. Travis Alexander lay in the shower. He had been stabbed 27 times. His throat was slashed from ear to ear. He had been shot in the head. The killer had left him to rot for 5 days. Detectives had no leads, no witnesses, no murder weapon. Then they found her name in his phone. This is the story of Jodi Arias and the interrogation where she did a handstand. Jodi Ann Arias was born on July 9, 1980. She grew up in Yreka, California. Friends described her as quiet and artistic. She worked as a photographer and waitress. In 2006, she met Travis Alexander at a conference in Las Vegas. He was a motivational speaker and a salesman. He was handsome, charming, and religious. Jodi was drawn to him immediately. They started dating. Within months, she converted to his Mormon faith. She moved to Mesa to be closer to him. But the relationship was troubled from the start. Travis wanted to keep things casual. Jodi wanted commitment. He told friends she was obsessive. She showed up unannounced. She hacked his email and Facebook. She slashed his tires twice. In June 2007, Travis broke up with her. Jodi moved back to California, but she did not let go. She continued to visit him, and they continued to have sex. Travis kept her a secret from his church friends. He was ashamed of the relationship. He called her a stalker in text messages, yet he could not seem to cut ties completely. On June 4th, 2008, Jodi drove from California to Arizona. She rented a car, and she told the rental company she was going to visit friends. She turned off her cell phone, and she filled gas cans so she would not have to stop at Arizona stations. She arrived at Travis's house late that night. Security cameras never saw her car, and neighbors never saw her arrive. What happened next would become one of the most debated crime scenes in modern history. Travis was killed in his bathroom. The attack was brutal and personal. He was stabbed in the back, chest, and head. His hands showed defensive wounds, and he tried to fight back. The slash to his throat was so deep, it nearly decapitated him. The gunshot came last, a single bullet to the right temple. The medical examiner said he likely died within minutes, but those minutes were filled with terror and pain. Blood covered the walls, floor, and hallway. The killer dragged his body back into the shower. She left him there. 5 days passed. Travis missed work calls and meetings. Friends grew concerned. On June 9th, his roommates and friends entered the house. They found him decomposing in the shower. The smell was overwhelming. Police were called immediately. Detectives processed the scene for hours. They found a digital camera in the washing machine. The memory card was still intact. On it were dozens of photos. Some showed Travis and Jodi having sex that afternoon. Others showed Travis in the shower. Then came photos of the attack. The camera had accidentally taken pictures during the struggle. One showed Travis bleeding on the bathroom floor. Another showed the ceiling. The timestamp proved Jodi had been there during the murder. Police learned Jodi had driven straight from Arizona to Utah that same night. She showed up at another man's house with cuts on her hands. She told him she had been hiking and cut herself on broken glass. He did not think much of it at the time. Detectives traced Jodi's movements through gas receipts and cell phone pings. She had tried to create an alibi. She claimed she never went to Arizona, but the evidence said otherwise. On July 15, 2008, police arrested Jodi Arias in California. She was charged with first-degree murder. The interrogations began immediately. Detective Esteban Flores sat across from Jodi in a small gray room. She was calm, almost too calm. She smiled, and she made small talk. She asked about the detective's family. He asked her about Travis. and she said they were just friends. He asked where she was on June 4th. She said she was nowhere near Arizona. She said she was with friends in California. The detective pressed her, and he told her they had evidence. She did not flinch. She stuck to her story. She had not seen Travis in months. She had no reason to hurt him. She loved him. Hours passed. Detective Flores left the room. Jodi was alone with the cameras. She stretched and examined her face in the mirror. She did a headstand against the wall, then lowered into a full handstand. She held the pose for several seconds, smiled to herself, then sat back down and waited. When the detective returned, she was calm again. This bizarre behavior would later become infamous. Psychologists debated what it meant. Some said it showed a lack of remorse. Others said it was a coping mechanism. Jodi never explained it. The detective changed tactics. He told Jodi they had found the camera. They had photos of her with Travis that day. She paused and blinked. Then she changed her story. She admitted she had been there, but said 2 intruders broke in. They attacked Travis. They threatened to kill her too. She said she escaped and ran. She was too scared to call police because she thought no one would believe her. The detective listened without expression and asked for details. Jodi described the intruders as a man and a woman, both wearing masks. She could not see their faces, and she did not know why they would want to hurt Travis. The detective left again. Hours turned into a full day. Jodi sat alone in the interrogation room. She sang to herself and read the magazines the detective had left. She appeared unbothered. When Detective Flores returned, he brought crime scene photos. He showed her Travis's body and the blood. He told her the medical examiner said Travis had suffered. He asked how the intruders could do that much damage without leaving evidence. Jodi stared at the photos. Her composure cracked slightly. She said she did not know. She said it happened so fast. The interrogation continued for 18 hours total. Jodi never asked for a lawyer. She kept talking, convinced she could explain her way out. But her stories kept changing. First, she said she was not there. Then she said she was there, but intruders did it. The detective waited. He knew the physical evidence would speak louder than words. Jodi was held without bail. Months passed, and her defense team prepared for trial. Then Jodi changed her story one final time. In her third version, Jodi admitted she killed Travis, but she claimed it was self-defense. She said Travis had been abusive throughout their relationship. She said he became violent that day and that he attacked her. She said she grabbed a gun to scare him and it went off. She said he kept coming at her. She said she does not remember stabbing him. She said she blacked out. When she came to, he was dead. She panicked, she cleaned up, and she left. She said she was too ashamed to tell the truth. The trial began in January 2013. It became a media sensation. Cameras were allowed in the courtroom. Jodi testified for 18 days. She described her relationship with Travis in graphic detail. She claimed he was sexually deviant and emotionally abusive. She cried, she appeared fragile. But on cross-examination, prosecutor Juan Martinez tore her story apart. He pointed out inconsistencies, he exposed lies, and he confronted her with evidence she could not explain. The jury watched her composure slip. The defense argued Jodi was a victim of domestic abuse who snapped. The prosecution argued she was a jealous ex-girlfriend who planned the murder. They pointed to the rented car, the gas cans, the deleted photos, the stolen gun. They said Jodi knew exactly what she was doing. They said the overkill showed rage, not self-defense. They said 27 stab wounds was not an act of fear. It was an act of fury. On May 8, 2013, the jury found Jodi Arias guilty of first-degree murder. The verdict was unanimous. Jodi showed no emotion. The penalty phase began. The jury had to decide between life in prison or death. They heard from Travis's family. They heard the pain in their voices. They heard how Travis was more than a crime scene photo. He was a son, a brother, a friend. He had dreams. He had a future. Jodi took that away. The jury could not reach a unanimous decision on the death penalty. A second penalty phase jury was seated. In April 2015, that jury also deadlocked. The judge sentenced Jodi to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She is currently incarcerated in Arizona. She has appealed her conviction multiple times. All appeals have been denied. She will die in prison. The case revealed disturbing details about both Jodi and Travis. Text messages showed Travis called Jodi horrible names. He used her for sex while pursuing other women. He kept her hidden from his religious community. But nothing he did justified what she did to him. Jodi had options. She could have walked away. She could have moved on. Instead, she drove 1,000 miles to kill him. Psychologists who studied the case say Jodi displayed traits of borderline personality disorder. She had an intense fear of abandonment. She idealized Travis, then demonized him. She could not accept rejection. When he tried to move on, she saw it as betrayal. The murder was not impulsive, it was planned. The rented car, the turned-off phone, the gas cans. She knew what she was going to do, and she almost got away with it. The interrogation footage became a training tool for law enforcement. It shows how suspects behave when they think they are smarter than detectives. Jodi believed she could talk her way out. She thought her charm would work. She thought her stories would hold up. She was wrong. The physical evidence left no room for doubt. The camera she tried to destroy told the truth. The photos she tried to erase convicted her. The handstand moment remains one of the most analyzed pieces of footage in true crime history. Some see it as proof of psychopathy. Others see it as a stress response. Jodi has never explained why she did it. In interviews from prison, she says she does not remember much from that day. She says she was in shock. She says she was not thinking clearly, but the footage shows otherwise. She was calm, she was collected, she was performing. Travis Alexander's family has spoken publicly about the case. They say the trial was a nightmare. They had to relive his death every day for months. They had to hear Jodi lie about him. They had to watch her play the victim. But they also say they found peace in the guilty verdict. They say Travis can rest now. They say justice was served. Jodi Arias remains a controversial figure. Some people believe she was abused and defended herself. Most believe she is a cold-blooded killer who planned a murder out of jealousy. The evidence supports the latter. The brutality of the crime, the attempts to cover it up, the lies she told, the lack of remorse, all point to someone who knew exactly what they were doing. This case is a reminder that relationships can be dangerous. Travis ignored red flags. Jodi stalked him. She hacked his accounts. She slashed his tires. He should have cut contact completely, but he did not, and it cost him his life. Jodi could have walked away. She could have accepted the breakup. But she chose violence instead. She chose to take a life because she could not have the relationship she wanted. The interrogation footage shows the moment Jodi realized her lies were not working. She shifted from confident to desperate. She went from denying she was there to claiming intruders to finally admitting she killed him. Each lie was an attempt to avoid responsibility. Each story was crafted to paint herself as a victim. But the evidence did not lie. The photos did not lie. Travis's body did not lie. Jodi Arias killed Travis Alexander in a fit of rage. She destroyed a life because she could not control her emotions. She tried to get away with it. She failed. Now, she sits in a cell for the rest of her life. The handstand she did during her interrogation is a symbol of her arrogance. She thought she was untouchable. She thought she was smarter than everyone else. She was not. And that is the story of the woman who did a handstand during her murder interrogation.